Hi, I'm Andy Shaughnessy for Real Time with IPC. Here with me this morning is Michael Ford. How you doing, Michael?
Yeah, very well, thanks. How are you?
Good to see you again. Michael is the Marketing Development Manager for the Valor division of Mentor Graphics. And Michael, you wrote this poster presentation on supply chain management.
Sure.
And at first glance, it seems like you're critical of ERP systems. Is that accurate, or?
Yes, kind of, because ERP was invented, way back in the 1970s and 1980s, and it was founded on the technologies that were available at the time. People were making electronic devices like the old rotary dial phones and stuff. Right. So you have to ask yourself, is that technology invented from back then, is it still relevant today?
Right.
Is it still going to work at full performance? And what we found is that things are changing in the market. Manufacturing operations need to be much more responsive in the short term to changing customers' requirements.
Right.
Unfortunately, ERP can't really do that. Its logic is based on long-term sales forecasts, long-term planning of the manufacturing plant. This is what it does, this is what it's good to do. And there's no real problem with that, actually.
Right.
But what is needed is an enhancement to ERP. Something that can make the ERP's function work better in this constrained environment where things are changing more quickly.
Right.
And the specific thing, of course, for ERP is the control of materials.
Right.
So being able to allocate materials, enabling the change of the plans so that we can meet the customer requirements almost on a day-to-day basis rather than on a 3-monthly basis.
Right. And in your paper you stress managing materials more precisely, but I mean, don't the current MES systems do that?
People would like that to be the case, because you take the materials out, you barcode here, you barcode there, you know exactly what materials have moved around. To be honest, it's a lot of work.
Right.
And also, to be honest, it's not doing you much good, because the important thing is the point of consumption of the materials. It's not where you move them, it's where you consume them.
Right.
So all of the SMT machines that we see here at the show, these are very, very high performance machines putting in tiny little parts which are almost the size of dust particles.
Right.
How are you supposed to know where they've been used, where they've been spoiled, how many are left on the reels?
Right.
Taking a direct connection from these machines is the only way to be able to know exactly what has been consumed.
Right.
And that's where the problem starts, because you look around here and you see, 20 different machine vendors with 20 different platforms, 20 different languages. How are you supposed to put all of that information together into one supply chain, which then feeds up to ERP and lets it know what's actually happened?
Right. Right.
This is the enhancement that we need to bring to ERP that MES can't do.
Right. And when you talk about some of the benefits, you quote some pretty far out numbers. How do you justify those numbers?
We have some customers who have achieved some amazing results. What has happened in the past where you have internal material shortages that stop machines, people end up buying additional materials that were actually needless, stocks start to increase, and people seem to think of it as a fact of life.
Right.
But in reality, all of that cost is needless.
Right.
And so we are able to reduce, for example, 95% of the materials in WIP that are normally on the shop floor. We just take that out.
Right.
Because if you know exactly what material you've got, you just don't need that buffer anymore. You can bring the materials in just in time. 75% of the warehouse. I've seen warehouses cut in two again.
Right.
Okay, they made a sports center out of the warehouse because they had so much space.
Right.
This literally has happened at customers that I've seen. And in fact, when you take it to the longest conclusion, we worked it out that our customers, when they are making these cost savings, for example in the investment of needless materials, it made a difference to their bottom line of 11%, around 11%. Right. Now, I think, what, 11%? You look at a contract manufacturer's margins, they tell us they're about, 2 or 3%?
Right.
11% blows it away.
Yeah.
And then you consider what the difference in cost is for labor. Labor in the US, if you're making products in the US, for example, compare that to the labor cost in China.
Sure.
And we all know the stories, we lost the manufacturing to China because it's much cheaper, et cetera, et cetera. The difference in cost for labor is less than the difference in cost for materials. If you manage your materials correctly, again, you can blow away these differences in cost of having to move to a lower cost area.
Right.
So this is the degree of importance that materials cost has for the manufacturing operation. And that's the kind of solution that we provide.
All right. Well, it's a really great paper, and thanks for sharing it with us.
No, it's okay, my pleasure.
Thanks
Nice
for
to
coming
see you.
by.
Thanks.
I'll be talking to you again. All right. Again, I've been speaking with Michael Ford. I'm Andy Shaughnessy for Real Time with IPC. Thanks for watching.